www.keithingesradio.com. The World Wide Web is our home. www.keithingesradio.com. Online community on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Keithingesi Radio. The perfect dose of local and international sound. Go! The World Wide Web. Here comes
Crack addict like crack addict. Man, what's up? It's your boy Ayerz Mabinda. I am the 9-1 King, the goated Danny of all generations. Man, we came in late, but we had to do this interview because we shared, bro. We had to have it. I just want to check my microphones. I think you are on. I have a lot of microphones on. Man, we had to do this interview. Yeah, we had to. Definitely. We've been planning it. You guys have a nice studio. It's beautiful. Like excellence. Yeah. Otherwise, if you are watching this, my name is Ayerz Mabinda. I am the 9-1 King. They call me the goated Johnny of all generations. I've got my brother, Slogan. In case you are wondering, but when's it doing? The name of the show is it Xhosa Hip Hop Heritage? We were here last week. It was fire. We brought you conversations. We brought you music. So we thought again this week, let's come back again. But Anyanova, this is a legend. It's too early. I'm on my way. You're on your way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Yeah. I'll get there. They're easy. No, let's get to it, my dog. First of all, thank you for coming through and thank you for making time.
Thank you for having me. To your listeners, the people that are watching, shout out to them for actually making time. I appreciate the invite. It's good to always know that your people are still around. Because you could be doing what you're doing and then, people are doing what they're doing. But it's always great when we come together to just amplify the things that we're doing in our own corners.
Most definitely, my dog. Who who's watching right now is thinking, so just a little bit of a background about Slogan, Ubani, picture, because some of us listen to your music, so it's very important for Tina when we actually get to hear the stories, connect it to. So just a bit of a background.
Slogan, that just happens about as we grew up as a family. Dad and Mama were able to now move from it to what we do.
Okay.
I was afforded the opportunity to go to different schools growing up.
Yeah.
I think I went to about 10, 11.
They were moving.
I think at that point they were still trying to find the stability of just having a kid around. Okay. So I would be in this school, that school, until I realized that actually played a part because I'm able to socialize with so many people. Because the social setting was not always the same,
Yeah, so you had to react.
Today you're in the private school. Next week you say
which is boy.
You know what I'm saying? The other week was Lali, so so my growing up stage was like that. I was moving there. At some point, I think I was with my sister and brother at university, and they would keep me for the weekend. You understand? So I learned from that, and then as time went by, I think the first time I was on TV was actually SABC 3.
Yeah.
We're doing a registration that we learned in class. Okay. So I think they took that. It was actually Graham Arts Festival. That was years ago. That was my first glimpse of understanding that there's a thing called media.
Okay.
And I remember there telling myself that I want to be an actor. That was my thing.
It makes sense.
I didn't know what it means, but the fact that my mother said, "I saw you at TV."
So you saw how proud she was.
This has to be a big thing,
Yes,
you know. And remember, like the only channels we're watching while we're growing up is SABC 1, 2, 3. So, like, if you're on SABC, it was huge. You made it, you know. So from there, I then went to a boarding school, whereby I ran into first glimpse of someone rapping in front of me.
Is it?
You know, I've always seen Jay-Z's, Tupac's, and all of that.
Yeah, now it made sense.
Now, like, I was like, this guy's rap.
Before I cut you, before we get to your introduction of hip hop, at that lane, is there any music background?
Because I love that.
Usually that's where it starts for most of us, because even me, my interest started from the fact that the time I was involved.
Yes.
But subconsciously it went over as well.
Like when I hear stories, a lot of stories, like they tell the cousin about Mama used to love to draw. Growing up. So she was into art. But like now my perspective of what I'm doing right now, I think I really took it from my sisters and brothers, right?
Yeah.
Because my brother used to, like, he bought his first cars, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and he would park where when the stoop was completely, he would park there, go figure. He's playing Nas, he's playing Tupac, and then while you're listening to that, your sister switches on the Westlife. And like this is all happening at the same time. And then, like, I think that is like the one thing that actually inspired me.
It's a concept,
you know. It's like, so that's my first glimpse of music. You know, outside of the obviously class school and getting full, so okay, be part of a choir. Then you're forced.
As long as you know the uniform brand, you go and sing.
You always want to be in bass, but then you can't even. You're not the bass guy. They put you on the chair. Sure. So that's my first glimpse of music, to be quite honest with you. But like far beyond that, I remember my brother realizing that, okay, cool, I really like music, and then that's the first time he actually went out of his way to get me a mic. You know, I said I wanted a mic to record myself. He bought me a performance mic. So I had a performance mic, and you know, like, what am I?
But I'm sure you didn't know the difference.
I didn't.
It was a mic.
It was a mic. And I kept on telling my friends, as long as we can get a laptop, we can connect this mic. We are on. How we get this thing working, I don't know. All I know is that you need a laptop. Right now.
To connect,
you know,
record.
Exactly. So that's my first glimpse of music, to be quite honest. And then one of my friends, I don't even know where he is right now, but I would love to meet and speak to him, because he was very instrumental in ensuring that I actually get my first recordings. His name is Zeus, actually. He had a laptop. He was, I'd like to say he was a nerd of my time, you know? He had a laptop, he had and
you can't downplay that, because there was a time where having a laptop
was a thing.
Dog, you can't just have a laptop.
Right now, everybody got a laptop, but like, remember
then, dog, you know, I mean, come on now.
Back when everyone had Most Wanted on their laptop.
Stop playing here.
They don't know anything. So he had that, you know, and I don't know how he ran into. Surprisingly, we recorded using virtual DJ.
Actually,
do you remember?
It
does. He said, forget this mic. Then he bought the headphones with the mic on. And he said, I must record. You know, I remember recording, thinking, hey, this guy, I don't know. And then I left my vocals. I just went home. Then he called me this one day to come listen. I'm telling you, the songs we made over there. I don't want to listen to them now, but they'll shape me. You know? They shape me. Then obviously, as time goes by, you meet people in the hood that are actually doing
to the highest level.
And then that was a brother, like a big brother of mine called OG. He opened up like the first professional studio for me to record, right? And I remember he kept on saying, like, do you know this verse is on top of your mind because you keep hitting one takes. At that point, I'm like, I don't even know what's a one take, but it sounds fun.
It sounds like you're doing the right thing.
And you would tell everyone in the studio, like, when I'm like one take, almost like a potato zago, and I'm thinking, I don't know what that is, but it seems like it's an important thing.
As long as it comes across as a compliment. But then most of us then comes across umculo wakho. And then firstly before that, then now when do you connect with East London?
Yeah, perfect.
Do you connect with East London on your rise of umculo? Or already you are?
No. Like I bumped into East London when I'm actually in varsity.
Okay.
So with all the stories that I'm telling you,
you're still back home.
I'm still back home in Barawa.
Yeah.
You know, I'm recording there. I'm doing shows in Barawa actually. I'm like one of 2 or 3 people that are actually doing shows. Like people are recording, but they don't gig.
Yeah.
So I'm gigging in Barawa every time, every chance I get.
You're making your own shows, or they calling you?
Like I'm making shows and I'm like
getting bookings.
I wouldn't say getting bookings because I was showing up. You know?
Oh, you put them up on people.
And luckily, like girls like me enough to invite me to shows at their schools.
Yeah.
Because eventually, like the people that I was friends with, they became part of the SRCs and all that stuff. So they'll be like, if you're available, you can come. Yeah. Then I would bunk school just to jump on that show.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So from there, I got obviously an opportunity to go to university.
Okay.
That's when I ran into university is really a universal world, because it afforded me like an opportunity to see entertainment and see the world holistically.
Yeah, in a different light.
In a different light, because remember in university for the first time you go to school with someone from Zimbabwe, someone from Nigeria, someone from King. Someone from Barawa,
different cultures, different.
So the mindsets too are that different. So we have an organization at my institution called the For Habe, right?
Yeah.
It's mostly focused on grooming artists.
Okay.
Be it you're an actor, you're a dancer, you're a poet, you're a rapper, like performance arts.
Yeah.
That's what they focus on. So I remember, and they would have slots actually. They'll say first slot, if you're opening the show, you're one of the people that have nicer performances.
Yeah.
If you are in between, your performance is If you're at the end, you are closing the show.
You're a banger. You're just on your best.
And I wanted to be Casper. You're just on your best. I'm telling you. So, like at that time, I bumped into Gaga, crazy enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this guy is huge.
What year is this?
This is 2015. 2015.
It's already a radio station.
Crazy. They're doing like sessions there every time. Yeah. But like, there's already a culture, to be quite honest. Because even the culture of hip hop was pretty much very present at the institution. Yeah. Because ASOC sessions were there. There was a lot. Jungle, Eastern Cape, which is a battle side. That's
part of the reasons I thought we should risk it and call the show isiXhosa Hip Hop Heritage. Because the reason why we had Casper West and all of them is because they were WHPs
culture
who were willing to say we're gonna do Mutswako.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense to you.
Yes.
We will do it until because it makes sense to us.
Yes.
So it's the same reason that I decided, because you take it back to Ofote, Wusu.
Do you understand?
There's people that did before us.
Way
before us. So when we came in and then we were attending sessions and shows, already these people have paved the way.
Exactly.
Even like the management people, they knew that there's these kids that are not like the other kids.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you. Then you shape from there.
Yeah, I shape from there.
But then you're shaping as an artist, as a slogan.
Yes.
It's different from what we do.
Okay.
When I came across brand, you were more like Usiza.
Yes.
You're very, when we came up, we were not very brand conscious.
Yes.
We thought it's the scale. But when and later as we grew into art, then we understood the importance of brand and everything.
Yes.
But when it looked like from the jump, you understood that as much as I'm working on the skill, I'm also
work on the brand
as well.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like university is pretty universal, because that's when I met people that understand branding holistically.
Okay.
Because now I met my friends who actually introduced me to working with brands and working on the brand. You know?
Okay.
Because we had a team. We called ourselves Yo Magazine, right?
Okay.
So we did.
I think I've seen that.
I was part of that.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we built a structure where we worked on magazines for ourselves and the students around campus. That we wanted it to be a flagship for magazines in the Eastern Cape. That's what we wanted.
Okay.
I remember at the time there was another huge magazine that was doing pretty well, but I forgot about it right now. But
from East London. Wasn't it Beat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beat,
Yeah.
yes.
I think they even had awards.
Exactly. So we were looking at those as our what do you call this? Sort of scaling us to what we're doing. So that's what we're doing. But we also saw that in order for us to find a way to exist, we have to branch into events, because we realize that if we depend on what the SOC does, we don't really get the output and of what we want to do as the team, right?
Okay.
So luckily for us, the environment was conducive enough for us to exist within those spaces, because for Ahebe, which is what we were in, they had already given us the skills to actually branch into that.
Okay.
So with what I'm saying is, all those people I was working with at formulating these magazine structures were then the people that assisted on branding the Slogan brand. Yes.
No, my dog, man. I mean, you've done a lot. I think Zowazi a bit later.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Well, like it was always seeing you from distance and all of that. And I think there's one show you did that had Younger Chief.
Yeah. That was 14, yeah.
That one introduced you.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah, I mean, a whole lot of us knew you from there.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, let's pick the music.
Yeah.
Because people are always on the timeline.
Yeah.
You never pick them. Let's be honest. Even
exactly, facts.
You just share the links. But there's that one moment you're like, let's pick the music.
Yeah.
Then now, fast forward, my dog, you signing a deal.
Yeah.
Tinnism.com.
Yes,
You signing a deal with Tinnism.com.
Yeah.
Take us through that before we ask you what happened.
Yes.
Take us through that first.
I think what was happening in that space, remember 2016, I get an opportunity to be on Cruel Summer.
Okay.
Like
Cruel Summer.
Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
That just that changes the whole trajectory of what I'm doing,
Okay.
Because now for the first time I'm in front of like a lot of people. Like these are eyeballs for me. I remember I was still a dress, So me and my friends, like the rehearsals, everyone is home. Like we were told to go home, but we had to stick around because I think Cruel Summer was around the 3rd of December.
Yeah, it was.
December,
and then you find out that it's
like end November.
Yeah, 28, 29.
So we were hanging in there so that we could be together to rehearse it out to make it to Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
So we did that. I remember we got Cruel Summer 3rd December. We left East London. Remember, we don't stay in East London, we stay in Alice. We're supposed to be at home around this time. Bro, like we were in East London until the 23rd of December. Just gigging. From that one gig.
Okay.
I'm telling you, we were not booked. But after Cruel Summer, the gigs we got
coming.
They lasted us till the 23rd of December. I remember I was looking for a person that I knew from back home. I could just let me and my 2 guys just sleep on the couch.
So that you guys are around.
So that we are around enough for when we get the call. We don't know when the call is going to come, but let's just be around, because the videos are starting to trend.
Yeah.
So luckily for us, the calls came in, and then you find out that, okay, cool, you're taking this gig for 1.5. Next one, you're like, let's chance it to 2.5
and see what they
exactly. Now all of a sudden, now all of a sudden you got coins, and you're like, hey, back in campus they paid us 500 rands to do these gigs. So now it's a lot of money. Now you are able to say, okay, we're just visiting the show to check what's happening, and then from there you finesse to get a slot. And then from that slot, it's a replica effect.
I don't want to pass this was Omni will come across this interview. I think it's very important that upcoming artists understand that,
Exactly.
because it's one of the reasons, it's one of the things, in fact, that I personally think delay based in. We
Yes.
always want to get paid.
Nah, man.
We always want to get paid.
Don't
Tina.
work like
Hey, can you jump on the song? How much are you giving me? Hey, dog. I mean, I've seen people charging for a verse.
Jeez.
And I'm like, but dog, when you don't deserve.
Do you understand?
You
don't
understand?
deserve it, yeah.
Because you still need to put yourself out there.
Like, we were talking just like outside of the studio, and we were talking about, there's a reason why, like, big brands like Kid Yesi, they still go out and give out their cards. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's
put
because,
yourself out there.
you know, like,
Yeah.
you have to put yourself
You
out
have
there.
to.
Like, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It does not just come to you.
Yeah, that's why also I think on the show as well, we are working on a segment. If you are a person that is dealing with branding, you are a person that is dealing with marketing specifically for artists, you're dealing, maybe you're a lawyer, we need those kind of people because we don't need artists all the time.
Exactly.
We need those kind of people so that we can educate our artists.
Yeah.
But then now, Tinism,
so
Batola.
yeah, so we all come from Butterworth.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to lie to you. Like, I think Butterworth has.
So you guys are homeboys.
I wouldn't say homeboys because the big homie is older than me. You know,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he's an OG.
Okay.
He's an OG, but it just happens that Tini and I, we like, I'm older than him.
But so at the same age group.
Yes, and we did hang around the same groups, you know.
Okay.
Growing up and all that stuff, so we sort of know each other.
Yeah, which is his younger brother,
yes,
Kitty.
yes.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was just releasing music while in campus and all that stuff. So I think he ran into one of my performances, and then he was like, "Yo, I see you building in the Eastern Cape. What do you need me to help you with?"
Okay.
You know, and at that time, I'm like, "Yo, you see, the Tini brand is gone." You know,
This is a big question.
this is like
This is the homie that gave us Ginger Trill.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the homie that
Energy.
gave an energy. And you understand?
Come on, my
You know,
dog.
flex booty.
Yo,
You know. So I'm just like, I don't know, like, what to say, you know. But he was like, okay, cool, just come through and see, like, what we can work around, you know. Then I had to now break the news to my dudes that I'm building.
Hey, Buffet.
Plus,
I don't know if I need to understand.
hey, man.
and tell these ones here.
But sometimes
we have cameras already.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you don't need to pull out.
So now I'm telling the bruiser. The bruiser like, forget about that, man. This thing is, this is working, you know. And it's hard to like sell the dream to your homies because your homies are just as invested in this as you. Because remember, it's not really about you as an artist. I always tell artists that it's not about you, man. It's about your team. You know, like you could be the artist, but your team gets you there first.
Yes, definitely.
You know, so okay, they eventually we reached the common ground. You know, that you know what? If you see it's not working out, well, come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I did not deregister at school. Okay. So I went to Pretoria. We chilled. We met with the big homie, and we signed a deal. You know, this deal was focused on ensuring that I record. We did a 360 to be quite honest.
Okay.
We did it now that I'm like,
so basically they're gonna take care of you.
Take care of everything.
You just do the music.
Yes.
And they put it out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the main. So in our argument, I had always said, "Yo, I wanna know the finances of what I'm doing."
Makes sense.
You know, it might be a 360, but I wanna know what's being invested in. How much is it? How is it being spent?
Yeah.
Because that way I don't get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Right. I get to know. We go into this interview. And this is how much is being spent on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we released my first project, Slogan, which is the introductory. I think we have Jenny, Pull Up,
the one with
the white
artwork.
Yes. That was my first body of work. I had
Yeah.
always been struggling to make it.
Tell me, Doug, before that you never had an album with an EP.
I was just releasing songs informally.
I
think the first song I actually did that was up was Religion, and we shot a video for it.
I mean, like a proper song.
Like a proper song that we actually got to drop on digital was actually PG, yes, with my guys. So we did that, and then everything else you heard was just marketing.
You guys were pushing.
There was no official song out, nothing.
I thought you guys already, you were, that time, what year is this? This is
2015, 2014, like
going up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is all like what I'm telling you right now is 2018. 2018 when I dropped that project. No, actually the project dropped early 2019. Yes, early 2019. But we had been recording from 2018.
Yeah.
So we release it. Now the unexpected happens whereby I'm new. The project just happens to debut #1.
Yeah.
Which is something I never thought would happen.
Yeah.
I knew I had people that are waiting for this to happen and all this stuff.
Yeah. But you had the machine.
Yeah, no, I know
these guys were crazy.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you're inside, like people start,
understand.
You have a different perspective from the outside, right? Yeah. So now I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I see this. We're doing sneaker interviews. We're doing whatever. We're doing all these interviews. We're attending these events. Then it just happens that I have an idea. Remember, I come from a background whereby my dudes have showed me how to host shows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I want to bring down Young Chief to the Eastern Cape. Now I'm telling them, listen, if we can, and at this time I'm training with the Cap City guys. So we're training together and all of that. Pete Art, everybody. So I'm like, if we could take these guys, we take them to the Eastern Cape and we go to the university and we rock. This would be a good return on investment.
And they don't get it.
They don't. So now I end up, luckily for me and Younger, we had always been in a conversation. So I end up in that I knew that I was gonna bring Younger. They were gonna bring the Cap City guys. Obviously they didn't owe me this. This is just me having my own vision.
I think you guys are pushing.
Yeah, we're
pushing. You're thinking you need to amplify.
Yes, I'm trying to amplify what we're doing. It's even worse. I had a project. So I want to amplify this because it's gonna benefit me.
Yeah, at the end of the day. And then too, because the electricity deal.
Do you understand?
Yeah, because they're responsible for the finances.
Yes. So eventually I'm just like, yo, I'm selling this dream, but it's not moving. And unfortunately, I've got a window to do this, and this window is closing on me, and I can't afford not to do it because, I've got a legacy back home that I'm building. Then I'm like, Younger, let's do this alone.
And then now you are moving out of contract.
That's how,
because you are tied up. And
do you understand? Now I'm just like, you know what? Forget this. This works. We do the show. It's a success. I come back to Joburg eventually, and I'm like, you could see the energy, man.
It's no longer the same.
Yeah, like the energy is on some. Now even I'm feeling like, yo, but like I told you, it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like you saw the snaps.
Yeah.
I told you, put your money in this.
Yeah.
Like put your money in this.
It was crazy.
This is what I'm telling you. Like didn't see the vision. Then it just hit me, bro. It's like I don't want to keep explaining the vision.
Yeah. Somehow, if it doesn't connect like that,
do you understand what I'm saying?
You begin to think maybe it's not meant to.
Like I don't want to. I appreciate the love. I appreciate because I was staying like at his place. He opened his place, his house. Like he fed me. To be quite honest with you. And he didn't have to do that. He could have taken any other kid, but he believed in me. But I just felt like for my own vision right now, this is sort of like slowing me down. Because
and I'm also a believer, my dog, that sometimes it's not even a situation of there's a fight or beef or whatever. Yeah. We should get it when people don't get it.
Exactly.
You understand? Exactly. You understand, but hey, maybe this is not going to work.
Exactly.
But then how's the relationship post everything?
I think after I left, there was not much movement from the label itself. Because other people just went on to do other things. Obviously, I still kept in touch with who I kept in touch. Me and the OG, we try to find our ways as far as reconciling and all that stuff. Talking between friends, trying to find a way to speak to each other. But relationships are like that. Especially when you carved out your own money, you feel like, okay, cool, this kid did not take this opportunity serious,
Yeah, it feels like he doesn't appreciate, and we all see things from our
perspective. You understand? And I also see the situation from my own perspective, and I'm telling it from my own perspective.
Yeah,
it could have used.
Yeah.
So from there, man, it's always been like that, but it's all love, because I like I'm saying, I do appreciate what it did for me, because it taught me a lot. Because coming out of that, actually, that's when I learned how to put out my own music, how to record myself, and how to brand the music itself.
Yeah.
Because I believe before I went to Tinism, I did not have a sound. The slogan you hear right now and the Mulungo project that then dropped is off.
That was crazy.
All of that is me coming out of Tinism, telling myself, I need to build. And I now have a perspective because I've seen how things work.
Yeah, but before that, you'd correct me if I'm wrong. The sound was more of what are you listening to?
Exactly.
It was more.
Exactly. It was.
Did KO drop in a Kwaito song?
Yes.
Is it moving?
Yes.
Can't we get a producer to something like that?
Similar to that?
You understand?
Yes. It was more of that. Actually.
Yeah, because even me, I listened to your joints. I was like, okay, cool. But then the Lungo project was different.
That is very vital on my catalog, actually, because that's my first independent release on my own.
Okay.
I took a break, man. I was like, you know what? Let me go back to school. Remember, I said the most important thing out of this is that I did not deregister when I was doing
you still.
So I went back to school. I packed my bags, went back to school, finished that year. I graduated the following year. My honors, and then I was like, I need something else. And an opportunity to go overseas came. So I went overseas. Then from overseas, man, I it gave me a breather, because
was it work or
it was school related?
Okay.
School related. I was doing my masters. Okay. So I got there, I got to travel. I learned so much about different heritages, cultures, whatever. And it just dawned on me that I need I'm a piano culture was hectic.
Yeah.
It was seriously hectic. So I was like, okay, cool. When I came back, I want to do an piano track. I did a song called London. It did crazy for me, when I came back. Then I was like, you know what?
Is that when you started doing clubs a lot?
Yes, I did a lot.
I remember at some point you were doing clubs a lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
yes.
with
True.
Yeah.
My DJ. So I did that a lot, and it was working out, Until it dawned on me, I was like, yo, you had a conversation with yourself when you were overseas that you're going to invest a lot of time to work on how you sound, when, And that's when I started working with indie beats. I started, and I had always, and when I was at Tinism, I was already speaking to Nombi like crazy now.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, yo, when I meet the name of man, I want us to lock in.
We're gonna work. You stressed him.
Yeah,
you feel like
I know what you're going through over there, bro. Because he was also signed.
You were signed to
Moby Dixon. Yeah. So we were always talking about this.
So you guys had a mutual problem.
I was like, bro, when we go out, I already see the song. This is gonna work out, Yeah. So I hit him up, because I was working with indie, and then I just happened to chill with Nombi a lot. So I started working on music. Then all of a sudden we just started working on the Bulungo project.
Yeah, and the sound came out nice.
Yo, man, that changed my life.
My dog, a question that I always ask myself and I don't have an answer for it.
Yeah,
is that where I could think, like in your thinking, if you check very well, how much it does say they bubble under, they get to Joburg. They're like, okay, they get cosines in Joburg.
Yeah.
I'll make an example of Foot Legend.
Yeah.
Example.
Yeah.
That's my chief.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, cool. Then we'll be on.
Yeah.
But we never really on like that. And then Flashy Kumkani.
Yes.
MT.
Yeah.
And you from Ayaku point of view, because you're in the game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. What is really this thing that is, if you see kids like Usman Mane, for example, they came after we knew other homies.
Exactly.
And then they blew up for real, like
yeah,
that.
I was like,
You understand?
Yeah.
And it was something that you feel like as I'm sure this kid is making a living out of this thing.
Yeah.
He's eating out of this thing.
I feel you.
But for us, it doesn't happen like that.
There's so many factors that contribute to that, and it's exactly the reason why this show exists right now.
Yeah.
You looked at the gap and you were like, you know what, I need to find a home for what we are all doing,
Yeah.
And that's Durban, man. Like Durban has a home for hip hop. Like it's a home, So as Mamane, it's easy for him to blow up because the culture of support is already there.
So he blows up at home.
He blows up at home first. So whatever that comes out from there, it's already approved. You understand? Because they've got a culture they've built themselves. They don't need a Joburg to co-sign this.
Yeah.
Because they already co-signed it themselves. This is the one. Like this is the one. By the time Joburg catches on, they catch on to a flame that's already gone.
Yeah, maybe this person has already filled a certain venue.
Gone. He's
the
gone.
Confidence is
He's already doing shows with Nasty, maybe. He's already doing shows with Zako or whatever. Like they've got a culture that's going on. So with us, it's totally different, because I hate to say this, but like we move like we're immigrants. We always want to take it here and take it to Joburg.
Yeah, and then when you get to Joburg, what happens is
there's Joburgers.
Then you get there, they make sure that you know that you're not from here. And then you come back from here,
yeah,
and then Tina will like,
but what happened to there?
So it's in Gandua.
So that's quite frankly that, because the remember, like, bro, like getting cosigns from the people that we love is always great, right? But the issue is the cosign doesn't always say, I'm gonna hold your hand and walk in these rooms. I'm gonna get you on this track, and once you get this, you've already gained an audience that is looking at you. Now it's your turn to
break these walls. What you do with
exactly, and you can't blame the person co-signing because that's how a co-sign works.
It has to,
I put you on. You still have to break that door yourself. Whereas it's not like that in Durban. In Durban, they've got Usman Mane. By the time it blows up, there's already 3 guys he knows that do shows. They just host events. There's already 5.
And the guy that does management is like, okay, cool, come through.
That guy is friends with so and so at Sony. That guy is there's a whole culture around it. But with us, it's not like that.
And also another thing that I want us to in closing, because I want us to go to, because we got a little bit of a background here. I want us to go to what's next for you, what are you doing, what's happening, and all of those things. But another thing that I've noticed that happened is if a Slogan gets an opportunity, right? I'm judging from your story, I'm sure I was in studio before you.
Yeah.
Because you are talking 2015 and my first project was 2011.
I was actually by that time I was already in studio.
I was already
recording, putting out songs on data file, putting out songs on Kasi MP3, putting out songs on Zonke Web. Like I've always.
Yeah, but then you were talking when you were talking 2014.
It's when I started taking it
seriously. Yeah. But where I was going with this was, if you get an opportunity, let's say before me, instead of me embracing that opportunity and pushing, I see a need of comparing myself to you and dissing you and saying all these negative things because I think that's what we beat at.
Yeah.
Because I raised this on Legends comments one time. I don't like following a lot of these pages. Sometimes we find this negativity going on. But I said to him, I think he was worried about the same thing. But hey, what's happening with us? And I was like, and he had just dropped a diss track. And I'm like, go listen to that diss track. And that's what's happening with us. Because if I get a feature from AKA, and then when I look over there, you are busy with the Younger Chief. Instead of me dissing you, let's rather then connect those. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think the space amongst each other, right, is what does not allow us to find each other.
Because
with the the space comes a lot of differences.
Yeah, yeah.
So with us, we just have to find a way of correcting each other, man. Bringing each other closer and closer. I'm always on calls with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm always on calls
Yeah.
with Gaga when he's teasing other people.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, bro. And I try by all means to be the voice of reason. Amongst all my peers to be like, yo, you know what, like you can always
remember this is not what it's
remember
about.
this is not what it's about.
Yeah.
But we're men at the end of the day. Like people have to stand on their own business.
Yeah, definitely.
But I get what you're saying that all these things don't contribute to the bigger picture. I get what you're saying, and it's all just us finding a way to communicate that with each other.
Most definitely. My job, now you dropped a brand new single.
Yeah.
With Uzakwe.
Yes.
Is it a collaboration project? Is it your song with them? Because now, I don't know, you and Nombila are always dropping music.
Yo, the first song that we dropped was Amalanga, crazy.
Yeah.
Amalanga is the first single on the project that we are working on.
Okay.
There's a project definitely.
Amalanga,
yes. Doing great.
Was it early in the year or late
last year?
Yeah.
So Amalanga, we dropped it with Touchline and Zecho AMG. So that is doing well for us, quite well actually on the radio stations.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I sent you a video one time.
Yes. Even Emazweni now with Zakwe is actually doing great on radio now.
Yeah.
So those two singles are coming off the project. The project should be coming within the next month or so. Okay. So that's what it actually, crazy enough, the project is called Emazweni. Yeah. So we wanted to drop that song so that you could listen to the sound that
because it's more of a definition of
the whole project
body of work.
Yeah, so when you listen to Amalang and Emazweni,
we must perform it live.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah,
we have to.
Drops. We
have to definitely.
Yeah.
So yes, the project is coming out. We also have. Remember, we dropped Bulungo. It was 2 or 3 years ago. We're also starting our works on Bulungo 2.
Okay.
Crazy, man. The features I've got there, like right now.
Are we planning listening sessions?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially for the Bulungo work. That's more where we just dig in, because those are the stuff that we're working on. I also have Culture First, which is a festival that we're getting on. We did it last year, it was sold out. So we want to consistently do it where I'm now bringing all these different artists that I can't get to work with at the time, but would really appreciate their work. Yeah. So Culture First is for that, just to say, come and experience these people, and also come experience the people that I feature on the songs.
Yeah.
So that's where we're driving with Culture Fest, and there's also the Bulungo experience. Whenever I drop the Bulungo project, you get to go and do those shows live.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on right now. And obviously, man, the label work, Bulungo Tradings is always there. And we're always doing a lot of things. Yeah.
No, man, I just want to say I applaud to be organized, to put in the work. They learn it very late by business. And people need to treat it like that.
Exactly.
All the time, people need to treat it like that. That is why I'm asking, but even when you guys are dropping, we are available to come and host the listening sessions and make sure that people know about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming off like guys like True Sense, that gave me that opened the door. They don't even know me at the time,
Yeah, but they just see this,
but they saw that fire, and
give them an opportunity.
They gave me the opportunity, and that meant the world to me because I always remind them, yo, bro, like what you did for me, like.
And he doesn't even remember.
Like for him, it's just like, whatever. But I love it, because like I can always rely on him, And that's why what I'm speaking of, it reminds me of something that you posted that really like. It haunts me a lot, like when I think of my OGs, like I speak to my OGs most of the time, like, yo, bro, please upload the songs.
Put the music out there.
And you spoke of an OG of mine, this is a guy that you see that the project that you posted about, that's my project. Like how Mulungu the project sounds is me.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's
because
my project.
Because that guy I used to go to hip hop sessions.
I don't want to lie, that's my favorite rapper of all time.
That guy is crazy.
Like
his name is O'Hay.
I DM him, you know, I DM him all the time. I'm like, yo, bro, like, please put this out. Like he is crazy to me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think when because I think I had this conversation with Hooper briefly. Jake and Nani, it wasn't really about Kulua. So we still need to be patient with them in a sense that when it comes to Mzulu, I was explaining the same thing to kids like ATP and all that. Because there's this conversation of DSPs. I'm like, dog, look, Mzulu is no longer something the MP3s. I see Mzulu talking about the MP3s. They're not what's going. They're actually not what is going to make you money.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
The streaming business is killing me.
Take the music out there, let them stream the music. The popularity that comes with the music
is what's going to keep you money.
Do you understand? So we still need to explain these things. So I think, man, my dog, I'm very patient because I even want you see how many microphones we have.
Exactly.
I want to bring the OGs. We have these conversations.
You have to.
Yeah, well,
like I want
because when I started the show, I wanted to do the jingles. I go online.
Yeah.
I can't find the song. I'm like,
it's
Juniors or Shang.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like,
man, we could go on.
Yeah.
Like, you can make a profit in your own time, especially if you're taking a CD, you gotta move
around.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, my dog. No, man. Slogan, we just want to wish you a good luck forward in everything that you do.
Yeah.
And also, we want to say we are learning from you. The way you carry yourself, the way you carry your brand, the way you put yourself out there as and also the way you are accessible, but at the same time, you're still professional.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we really appreciate that. So, when is the project dropping? And also, what else can we? Are we getting merchandise?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. Before that, I'd also love to thank you, for setting up a show like this, where we just come to, because it's easy for someone to feel like you have it easy.
Without
understanding that there's
story behind,
there's a lot of work. So I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to the culture that keeps supporting me, because we see it on the page, like Kosa Hip Hop shared this. I appreciate those things. People don't have to go out their way and share my things.
Yeah, they don't have to.
They don't have to. They could just see it and pass. So people like Hooper and all that, I appreciate that. Because they don't have to.
They don't have to.
Even when they see me passing by, it's like, hey, boy, you're around. That matters to me because it proves that we're still humans and we still see each other. The social media hype and all that stuff. But definitely you're getting the project with me and Mabinda in the next month or so. We still just have to shoot around things. The music video for Amazon is actually shot right now. We will be doing the last clips for that to make sure that we put it all out together. It's up on all DSPs right now. Southwest Slogan, Nombila. Yes.
Artwork is fire.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
So you guys got visuals for the song already?
Yeah, definitely. And the visuals, we worked with Graham and TK Photography. So those are the people that are very invested in making sure that everything of mine comes out clean. The brand is well represented and all of that. So that's what we're working on right now. And obviously I'm always in studio, always in studio. I might not be there every day, but I'm always in studio. Putting in work, setting up these shows, and as time goes by, right now we're on a radio tour. And we're just focusing on making sure that everybody knows about Ayerz Mabinda. It's out everywhere.
Now, for now, we're going to park it here. But I just want to put out a proposal on air and say, you guys, when you're done with the project, you're happy with the project, you guys can come through here. We chill like this on a Wednesday, 7 to 9. We break it down. We just play it live. Definitely. We'll be live on YouTube. We'll be live on all these platforms. for people to actually hear the project, you understand? And then, when you guys are ready,
definitely.
There's no pressure. And also, in one of these days, I want to bring Uzakwe in and talk to him. Because of what he's been doing because I remember I used to get a booking from one of these festivals.
Yeah.
My boy Africa Hip Hop Festival.
Yes,
it was in Cape Town.
Yes, I remember.
He was supporting that a lot. And then I also saw him when he started the cypher thing.
Yes,
which
is still there.
Infusing Xhosa rappers in that as well.
Remember.
And then also being Uzakwe and his brand and everything, being able to say, okay, Slogan, this work. He's part of our culture, whether we like it or not.
I appreciate him, man. I appreciate him. Like he didn't have to do what he did for me.
Yeah, so now I would love to bring him in, but when you guys when you and the team, normally the team is here. And also some of the members of the team are not here.
Exactly.
But when you guys are chilling, think about it. Come here. We have the cameras.
He's coming.
Yeah, we just break it down.
I spoke of Culture Fest, so you might see him. You never know.
Is it? I know, man. I'd be very happy. But otherwise, in Fetu, we really appreciate you. Any last words? It's not really last words because of him.
Last words. Hey, man, if you're out there, you're doing what you're doing. This does not come easy. Just make sure that you soldier on, That's what the culture of hip hop is about. It's like, that backpack that we used to hold back then. We didn't have anything, but we carried it. That's where our dreams were. So carry that backpack, even if you don't have it physically. But carry it on your heart. Let's carry this thing of ours. Nobody's gonna take care of this but us. So believe in it more, lean in it more, the skills, sharpen it more. But just make sure that whatever that you do, you share the information. Please, man, just check out my new song, Ayerz Mabinda. I'd really appreciate that each and every person gets to hear the song and hears my catalog. Thank you.
That was a Slogan. Slogan is one of the hardest working artists in the Eastern Cape. We need to support him. We need to go out there. He's featuring Uzakwe. You're going to hear the song on the show. It's on the top 5. We are launching the top 5 next week. But the reason we came in late today, there was a show that was happening before us. We had to respect it. It was a big show. We had pastors. Not is blessed the best studio already. I feel it. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a share. So yeah, man. We ran a bit late because of that, but I had to do this interview with the Slogan because after this interview, I need to bring them in to do the listening session for the project, to break down the project, to talk about it, to explain it, so that you guys understand it. But for now, we park it here. My name is Ayerz Mabinda. I am Ayerz, the 9-1 King, the goated journey of all generation. This is Xhosa Hip Hop Heritage. We'll link up again next week. Remember, I said next week on Wednesday from 7 to 9. Don't miss it. I'm Zumako delay this time. Shout out to you, Slogan. Easy, man.
Here comes KR. Rock your body. Radio according to